Hi, you guys. Alright, so I wanted to take a moment today to talk about, especially if this card follows you or if you've been pulling it a lot, which I had been and it finally stopped, um, the Ten of Swords. And I pulled, so here's the Wild Unknown, Ten of Swords, and I think her keyword for it is like either like melodrama, maybe, or over, something about like being over dramatic. And you can definitely, I mean, obviously, like, if this is following you around, it's a creepy, it's like a scary card. If you probably feel like you're getting backstabbed, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the end, is how I was seeing it. I was like, every time it would pop up, the Terror of the She, it was popping up a lot, and that one is freaking scary. That one is called, like, keyword is desolation. It is so freaking scary. But, I wanted to make a note. I had a really, like, it's kind of like a happy thought to help add some humor. I felt like it helped me personally because it was following me to add humor. And like you can see here, so this is the dawn is right, the rising sun is in the background, and he has I guess I need to look it up, but that the hand symbol is like like a good fortune hand symbol. It's like even though he's got all these swords in his back, technically there is no blood coming out of him, but I guess you could say, well, the red cover is representative of blood, but even still, it's like, and also the tens are about, a completion with a new beginning, so there is the morning sun and, the dawn in the background. So this is a new beginning. Also in the Tarot Handbook, she talks about Angelus Arian, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She talks about how it's like when this card's following you, it's like an end. You're ready to end all your negative thinking. And in my case, it was me being way over dramatic and anxious, kind of like the Nine of Swords, but times one more up level maybe of that like Super Saiyan anxiety. It's just being way over dramatic or way worried about things, blowing things out of proportion. Which, I mean, on Carrie Mallon's blog, where she has like an amazing write-up of the Wild Unknown for the cards, and she's just talking about, it's like, in this card, yeah, it looks scary at first glance, and especially if it's following you around. It's just showing that it's like it's being overkill. Basically, you are overkilling with your own anxiety, your issues. And the one thing that popped in my mind, just to help everyone, maybe like cheer you guys up, was what helped me to make light of it, or to find the joy again, and find like the funniness, I guess, the humor to make me laugh, because laughter, I think, helps when you're dealing with like this level of anxiety. If you haven't seen it, it's by it's called Howl's Moving Castle. It's a book from the 80s, and the same guy who did Spirited Away, if you haven't watched that, it's a really awesome Japanese anime movie. It's like a kid's movie, but it's so good. He did the cartoon of Howl's Moving Castle, and it's got like Christian Bale, in it, and it's got like some famous actors, and it's kind of a crazy movie. But there's a scene. It's about a wizard. He has this moving castle. He's beautiful, and Christian Bale, right? But he's beautiful, and it's about a girl that got cursed by a witch, and turns her into an old lady, and she ends up becoming like Hal's the wizard, becoming his like house cleaner, and she ends up. So Hal is like, you don't know this until after this happens, but he has been like, he based all his self like superficially on his looks, and his looks were everything to him. Being beautiful was the everything to him. And she ended up, when she was cleaning his castle, she cleaned his bathroom where it had all his potions in it, where he would take a bath every day to keep himself looking beautiful, and blonde hair, and just blue-eyed and gorgeous. And so she cleaned his bathroom, and all the potions got destroyed. And so he goes and takes a bath, and he comes out, and his hair's dark again, or his natural color is dark, and he's like, darker, like just darker haired, and just different, not as beautiful in his eyes. And he has a meltdown, and it's hilarious. Like, he has this temper tantrum, and who was it? Sophie's the main character. I know you guys need to watch this movie. It's really good, but it really epitomizes, I feel like, this Ten of Swords. Like, so he has this meltdown temper tantrum where he literally turns into goo in his chair. He just is like, it's not, he basically says, I think he even says, it's not worth living if I can't be beautiful. And, he thinks it's the end of the world. Like, this thing that was so important to him, like, looking a certain way, even though he's still beautiful. And it's beautiful because Sophie was, like, I think she's beautiful in the movie, but, she was, like a plain girl. She was, like, very introverted, and she gets, cursed as, like, a really old woman, and, like, she's no longer youthful, and she's seeing Hal pitch a fit over him losing all his potions that made him blonde and beautiful, angelic. And she's just like, hey, I just got cursed, it's like your path, like, I'm cursed as, like, this, like, 90-year-old woman, and you're complaining because you're no longer beautiful in your eyes, even though he's still beautiful. In reality, he's still beautiful. And so it's like, he just has this fit, and I love how Sophie handles it. She's just like, oh, he's having a temper tantrum. We go take care of it, right? Like, he's having a panic attack, anxiety. It's okay. It is okay. You just need to go upstairs and take a nap and relax and just get used to this, your new reality, basically, because it's fine. It's really fine. Anyway, I know it was like a random thought. In case anyone hasn't seen that movie, it was on Netflix for a while, but and if this card, the Ten of Swords, is following you, it's just, if you're just being over dramatic about things, it's okay. It's okay. And, there's people going through much worse things, like, reminding, like, count your blessings, like, step outside, like, move into that observer role. Now, Deborah Silverman, the astrologer, she talks a lot about, being, like, reminding yourself to be an observer and stepping outside of situations and just getting, like, an eagle eye view of your situation in your life currently. And no, it's, I like to even think about it like, we're all here on Earth for a purpose, and, it's like, we didn't come here to stress about nit shit, little shit. There's so much more, and, not being so dramatic over it, will help you just find joy. Like, it's okay to be happy and joyful, even if you're not, like, where you're at right now. If you're going through difficult situations of any kind, of relationships, friendships, family, like me, moving, it's so stressful moving, but, it's like, just being at ease, being at peace with yourself, and not blowing things out of proportion, because it's never as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. It really isn't. And being able to give yourself that time to move past it and not take it all so damn seriously. So, anyway, there's some Ten of Swords I found. Obviously there's a lot more to it. If this card's following you, I'm not saying Hal's moving castle, that scene will help make it all better. I don't mean it like that. I just mean it might help you see it differently. It helped me. Or the thought of it, popped up. But, obviously it could be, your situation could be totally different, but just in case you needed some help moving past it. So, anyway, have a great one.